English step by step, phrasal verbs with into, step 3. Now, in this video, I'm going to go through the answers to a practice exercise. You can find the practice exercise in the step 2 video. And of course, you can watch the step 1 video to find examples and explanations of the phrasal verbs. So the practice exercise was to complete the questions and then think of ways to answer the questions. So let's complete the gaps now. Number 1. At what time of day are you most likely to something a traffic jam? Now in this case we can say get into a traffic jam. Number 2. What do kittens, puppies and tadpoles? Well, in this case we're talking about transformations, so let's use change into. Now, it's also possible to use turn into, so remember that's another option. Number 3, where do people have to, and in this case we're talking about subjects, so we have to say go into their subjects in great detail. In other words, research. Number 4, when can a local problem and then turn into a global problem? And again, number 4 and number 2 are interchangeable. Number 5, name 3 types of crimes that the police, well in this case it's an investigation, so look into. Police look into crimes. Number 6, why can it sometimes be difficult to, now here we have something about a new job, settle into a new job. In other words, get used to a new job. Number 7, why might your friends something you changing your diet? Now this is the phrasal verb which has a different structure because we need the object. In this case, the object is you and it's talk you into changing your diet. Number 8, where can you sometimes old friends? Now here we're talking about meeting, so bump into old friends. In other words, meeting by chance. Number 9, what do you call people who, now in this case we have to use be into and we have to change the form of the first verb, are into. What do you call people who are into studying birds? Number 10, what do you call criminals who, and here we have break into. In other words, with violence, with force, they enter a house. They break into houses. So those are the gaps filled. So now we can practice more by thinking of ways to answer these questions. Number 1, at what time of day are you most likely to get into a traffic jam? Well, normally it's the rush hour. The rush hour at the beginning of the day when people are going to work, and the rush hour at the end of the day when people are returning home. Number 2, what do kittens, puppies and tadpoles change into? Well, kittens, of course, change into cats. Puppies change into dogs. And tadpoles change into frogs. Number 3, where do people have to go into their subjects in great detail? Well, at universities, people go into their subjects in great detail because they have a few years to study the subject in great detail, to go into the subject. Number 4, when can a local problem turn into a global problem? Well, a good example would be a pandemic, for example, the coronavirus. Or it could also be a war, when a local crisis affects other countries and it turns into a global war, like the First World War or the Second World War. Number 5, name 3 types of crimes that the police look into. Well, the most serious is murder. So the police look into murder and the police look into crimes like robberies. And another example could be cyber crimes. This is the modern kind of robbery over computers. Number 6, why can it sometimes be difficult to settle into a new job? Well, of course, you don't know all the details of the job, so it takes time to learn the different steps and the different duties. So it can be difficult in the beginning to settle into a new job. Number 7, when might your friends talk you into changing your diet? Well, they can talk you into changing your diet if you are unfit, or if you are obese, that means very fat, or if you are unhealthy in general. Number 8. Where can you sometimes bump into old friends? Well, some situations like, for example, at a party, you can bump into old friends, or if you visit the town where you spent your childhood, you can bump into old friends there. Number 9. What do you call people who are into studying birds? Well, the official name is ornithologists. You could also say bird watchers. Number 10. What do you call criminals who break into houses? Well, there's a specific word for that. These people are burglars. So that brings us to the end of this Step 3 video on phrasal verbs with into. And you can watch my other video series with other phrasal verbs. If you like the content of this video and you'd like to see more, please click like and subscribe, and you can request a lesson in the comments below.